Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice.
It's showtime.
Hi everyone, I'm Anthony DeMauro, and you are watching Ranters Insider right here on Sports Rants TV, courtesy of SportsRants.com, the online social networking community for sports fans and sports talk. Well, we got a great show lined up for you today. We're going to talk some NBA playoffs, the NFL draft, the NHL playoffs, and also I'm going to share some thoughts with you about the new uniforms released by the Miami Dolphins and the Jacksonville Jaguars in the NFL. I'll also be throwing somebody from our fanfare section into our spotlight this week, and as well answering your questions that you submitted to me via Twitter in our fan mail section. And don't forget, guys, I've been teasing it for a couple of days now. We will also be unveiling the winner of a Troy Polamalu signed Pittsburgh Steelers jersey. I ran a contest on Twitter, and I said I would be announcing the winner. And don't fret, people. We have more cool giveaways to hand out. The next one, well, since it's NHL hockey season, and since I'm kind of rocking a hockey beard just a little bit, we're going to be giving away a Sidney Crosby signed hockey puck. Yes, take a look at it. Take a look. Pretty cool, right? And if you want to win it, there's two ways on how to do so. And you got to do both of them. You can't half-ass it. You got to do both. One of those ways, come on over to SportsRants.com, create a free fan profile. It's a social networking community, just like Twitter or Facebook. You can share your sports-related content if you're a blogger, if you're a journalist, if you're a radio host or podcaster. You can share all of your content on SportsRants.com. If you're a casual fan or hardcore fan, you can rant, talk about sports, say what's on your mind, just like you do on Twitter, and just like you do on Facebook. But SportsRants.com is the place for sports fans. So come on over there. Memberships are 100% free. Sign up there. And then make sure you're following me on Twitter. And that's at Anthony DeMauro. And let's get the social media profiles out there. If you do want to interact with me, there's a couple of ways to do so. The first one, as I said, is to follow me on Twitter at Anthony DeMauro. And also you can follow us on the Sports Rants official Twitter page, and that's at Sports Rants. And remember, that's Rants with a Z. We did try to make a switch this week. Kind of screwed up and made our Twitter page go a little bit wacky, but we are back. We did lose some followers, so if you were following us before, apologize for the error. So come on over and follow us again. All right, guys, let's get right back into it. We're pretty much underway in the NBA playoffs. Some series like Miami and Milwaukee are pretty much already decided. You almost could say that is the same case for Oklahoma City and Houston. But there's some other playoff series that are just downright interesting, and one of them is Golden State and Denver. And if you remember my little rant on Ranters Insider last week, I picked Denver as my sleeper favorite in the Western Conference. And I did so because of that stellar home record that they had, and well, look at it. Golden State snapped that home winning streak. Very impressive. And they did so without David Lee. It's going to be interesting to see how this series plays out. But I, for one, am still sticking with my prediction here. I think the Nuggets, don't sleep on them, folks, especially in this scenario. Golden State can put up points in bunches, and they certainly did so in Game 2, even out the series. But, well, it's a long series, and I think this will be one of the better series in the playoffs as we continue forward. Now, on the flip side of the coin, well, things weren't that good for the Boston Celtics in Game 2. They already had a problem containing Knicks forward Carmelo Anthony, who went on to score another 30-plus points in his next game here. But what's more impressive about this victory is the way the Knicks showed up in the second half and the Celtics didn't. And they did so in a historically bad manner. Now, they had a nice lead in the first half. They looked like they were on their way to really push the Knicks in this game and perhaps take a victory in this series. But in the second half, they scored a franchise-low 23 points. And I said this on Twitter. Let that sink in for a minute. And on a historical level, understand how storied the Celtics franchise is, how old it is, how many years they've been playing. And this year, they were held to 23 points in the second half in the playoffs. It's unheard of. It's embarrassing. And the Knicks look like they are just taking this series by storm and making a statement. And the Knicks are showered with praise for their performance. J.R. Smith just won the Sixth Man of the Year award from the NBA. Seems like the stars are aligning in New York. I still have my reservations against teams like Indiana, against a team like Chicago, and against the Miami Heat. But the Knicks are showing that they can win in the playoffs. And their brand of basketball, which I have criticized because I'm not a big fan of one person being the center of the team and everybody else falling in line. What I mean by that is Carmelo Anthony kind of has to be, he's the end-all be-all in New York. I don't think that translates well in the playoffs, but hey, I'm here to own it. I was wrong. They're playing well in the first round, playing well against the Boston team I thought would give them a little bit more of a fit, and they're just pushing them over. So the Knicks and Celtics, it's going to be interesting to see if the Knicks are just going to lay over and die here, or if we're going to put up a fight. I have a little bit feeling when this shifts to Boston, the story could be a little bit different, but you have to learn how to score more than 23 points in a half. In a quarter, okay. In half, not with KG, Paul Pierce, and the other stars in your lineup. That's unacceptable. Doc Rivers, I know, will be strategizing and ensuring that that does not happen again. So interesting series there. Out in the West, the Clippers and the Grizzlies. And this is another series, another team in the Clippers that I didn't really give too much of a chance to. I thought they were maybe a step away from being the team to really challenge Oklahoma City. But Chris Paul's buzzer beater in Game 2 to take a 2-0 series lead could be the knockout blow in this series. The Grizzlies, hey, I really liked their style of play, and I thought it would have caused fits for the Clippers, but the Clippers have adapted well, and you really got to tip your cap to the Clips out in Los Angeles. Chris Paul really leading the way here. I think they have demonstrated they can play team basketball, get away from the fast-paced scoring and make it work in half-court offensive sets. I really like it. Clippers showing some heart, and hey, you've really got to like what kind of sign is shown when it comes down to the final seconds, and the Clippers got it done. That speaks volumes in playoff series and throughout the playoffs. All right, guys, let's shift gears in the Lakers. I really thought the Lakers could have a nice pass in the first round here and really have their way with the San Antonio Spurs, and it all depended on Dwight Howard. Well, problem is it all depends on Dwight Howard. Dwight Howard just isn't getting it done. He isn't dominating. He's a liability at the line. And for a team that really needs to find its identity and find somebody to step forward and be like, I'm carrying this team on my back, Dwight Howard is nowhere to be found. Lakers fans, I think this should be the nail in the coffin to Dwight Howard's run in Los Angeles. He's not going to be worth the money. He's not going to be worth the headache. And a prime chance, without Kobe Bryant on the court, a prime chance to prove that you can put this franchise on your back and carry them to the promised land, you failed. And you're failing. I know it's not just Dwight Howard's fault, but when Dwight Howard is as vocal as he is and commands the type of money he wants to command, you have to show up in these situations. So the Lakers, I think, are done, and the Spurs are going to be walking on to the next round. Now, there's one more thing I do want to rant about right here, and I want to get your thoughts about it. Feel free to tweet me at Anthony Tomorrow. I have a little bit of problem with Kobe Bryant and his live game tweets while the Lakers are playing the Spurs. I get the passion. I like the passion a lot. And heck, I'm not a Kobe hater, but I think it undermines your coach and your players when you're questioning what they're doing while it's going on in such a public format. You don't need to do that. And once again, I think Kobe Bryant has put himself bigger than the Los Angeles Lakers. There's no reason to do that. It doesn't accomplish anything. And I know your passion for the game is probably where your heart lies on this, but use your head with social media. And I don't think he did so. I don't think he basically operated in the Lakers' best interest here. And it became a sideshow and a distraction. And it's just weird to me because when Kobe Bryant isn't in the Lakers lineup, it still was about Kobe Bryant. So I have a problem with that. And hopefully, as this series continues and hopefully it stretches on, Kobe Bryant won't make the same mistake yet again. It's great to have the passion, but no reason to be calling out anybody on social media. Whether that's your intent or not, that's certainly how some people read it. All right, let's move on to the NHL playoffs. And I do want to send out some congratulatory messages right now. Let's start off with the Toronto Maple Leafs, who made the playoffs for the first time in close to a decade. And they have their own MVP candidate on their team leading the way. Listen, I like what the Maple Leafs are doing here. I think they can make a strong push in the playoffs. And Los Angeles Kings last season proved that when there's destiny in the house, you can go to the Stanley Cup Finals and bring the cup home. I'm not ready to crown the Maple Leafs as champs right now, but I gotta say, they're one of my favorites in the NHL playoffs and one of my sleeper teams to watch. So I like the Toronto Maple Leafs. Congratulations. And congratulations to Leafs fans who finally have something to celebrate after so many years. And the same congratulatory message goes out to the New York Islanders. And if I told you before the NHL season started that the Islanders would be locked into the playoffs before the Rangers, you would have thought I was crazy. Well, it turns out the Islanders had a mission and accomplished it. And after a near 7-year hiatus from the NHL playoffs, the Islanders are back. Unfortunately, I don't have the same faith in the Islanders as I do the Maple Leafs. So I don't see the Islanders doing anything outside of the first round. And I think it'd be respectful for them to take a game or two in the first round. But that's all I see them doing. So I like the Maple Leafs a lot more than I like the Islanders. But I still have to say, Islanders fans, long-suffering Islanders fans, I'm glad you have something to cheer about this NHL postseason. Now, everyone's been asking me, who's my favorite? Well, I'm a Penguins fan. So, I'm picking the Pittsburgh Penguins. But I want to keep my eyes on the Washington Capitals. After a horrendous start to this season, the Washington Capitals, and Ovechkin in particular, really turned it on in the second half of the season and down the stretch run. And there's nothing like momentum heading into the postseason. And that's exactly what the Capitals have. I love the Penguins. Sidney Crosby. I mean, look at the season Sidney Crosby had. And take into account the time he's missed. And then look at the statistics. He's still a league leader in many statistical categories despite the time he's missed. So my grand favorite and everybody who I'm picking to win the Stanley Cup championship, take it home, my Pittsburgh Penguins. The Washington Capitals, I have a feeling we're going to see Ovechkin and Crosby head-to-head at some point in the NHL playoffs. It's going to be very, very exciting. I'm glad to see the Kings back in it as well. You gotta be, as Ric Flair once said, to be the man, you gotta beat the man. So I'm glad that the Kings are back in there to defend their Stanley Cup. And hey, it's going to be a fun playoff to watch. Now, my MVP, everyone's been asking me this on Twitter as well, who I would pick as MVP. Well, Sidney Crosby. I know Ovechkin. And it's close here. I would put Sidney Crosby just slightly ahead of Ovechkin. And that's because just of the statistical impact Crosby has had this season. And although Ovechkin turned it on late, and he is the reason the Capitals had their turnaround or in the position that they are in, I just can't ignore the statistics that Crosby put up. So he's going to bring home the MVP award this season. All right, another event going on this week, and in fact, in the very near future is the NFL Draft. I'm not going to go through a mock draft right here. I do think there's going to be tons of trades, and I'm going to be tuned in come Thursday for the NFL Draft. But I wanted to share with you something interesting that I found was rather peculiar. Well, it seems like the media folks at ESPN and NFL Network have decided to no longer show footage of the historic phone call a prospect gets before getting drafted. I like that. It adds suspense to the draft presentation on TV, and it doesn't give away the possible surprise of Roger Goodell's pick at the podium. So I like that aspect. ESPN and NFL Network have also taken it a step further by basically restricting their analysts and their journalists and reporters and telling folks such as Adam Schefter, Ian Rappaport, John Clayton, Chris Mortensen not to announce draft picks via Twitter or social media before they are officially announced. It's all lending to suspense. But here's the kicker, and here's where I have a problem with it. Now that rule that I just stated, that little condition they're holding their media to, well, that goes out the window unless it involves Manti Te'o or Geno Smith. And I have a problem with that. Why are these two so different? They're not going to go number one. They're not going to go number two. I don't see them going one or two. But yet Manti Te'o, who is another media darling from ESPN, Tim Tebow, another one just like that they're gonna bring their little sweaty hands and wrap around right there. I say if you're gonna institute a rule and really want to strive to have more suspense and surprises in the draft, you have to go 100%. No special stipulations, I think, is ridiculous. I don't know if NFL Network's doing the same thing. I heard in some circles that they are. But what do you guys think? Is it a little ridiculous? I like the suspense. I don't want to have to see footage of somebody on a phone. It's boring to me. I don't care. I want to be surprised by the pick. And that's why I love the NFL Draft. I'll love it this year. I'll be tweeting on it live during the draft, so make sure you follow me at Anthony DeMauro, and I'll make sure, hey, if I hear a sniff of a draft pick going, I won't be afraid to announce it first. Not that I really have that information, but if I did, hell, no, I'm the renegade, I'm the rebel, I would go right with the story. So NFL Draft, it's going to be interesting. I'm not going to go through a mock draft. If you do want to hear the first 15 picks where I think they are going, you can listen to my recent radio show, the Ranters and Ranters Show. Just go over to blogtalkradio.com/sportsrants, rants with a Z, and you can find in our archived episode list the latest Rant and Raven show from Tuesday night. A very exciting show. Katie and I talked NBA playoffs, NFL draft. We went through the first 15 picks. About all we could get through for the time we had on our show. And we also talked to two Denver Broncos players about the Broncos' upcoming season. So, very interesting show. Make sure you find it out. Make sure you follow sportsrants.com/radio to stay up to date on all the radio shows on Sports Rant Radio. All right, let's move on. And I want to let's stay with football, folks. Let's talk about the new jerseys unveiled by the Jacksonville Jaguars and leaked by the Miami Dolphins. I love the Jaguars' new look. I absolutely love it. I really do. It's unique. It pays homage to so much that Jacksonville is about, that organization and what they pay their respects to. And I think it just stands out, and I really like it. And I didn't have a problem with the Jaguars logo or uniforms before. I love this progressive step forward. And I feel the same way about the Miami Dolphins uniforms that seem to be hated by fickle Miami fans. And if you really want, I'm going to give a shout out right here to the Miami Herald. There's an article on the Miami Herald where the Dolphins reporter Armando basically went in and called the Miami Dolphins and asked them why they went the way they went. And they called some really, really intelligent people to get feedback on how to make the Dolphin appear on the helmet. So go on over to the Miami Herald, look at the Dolphins section, you'll find that article. So a little shout out to the Miami Herald right there. Also, I don't have a problem with this logo at all. I love it. I love the transition. I really do. I think it's sleek. I think it's futuristic. And I don't think it's so different from prior logos or even the heritage of the Miami Dolphins. I think it's almost a step back. It's almost like they're paying homage with this new logo while taking a step to the future. And I think that's what you try to accomplish when you go out and try to remake your logo. So kudos to the Dolphins. Dolphins fans, I know your biggest gripe. It looks like a whale. Take a second. There's a whale. Now here's a dolphin. Really? Okay. Looks like, do they look the same? Am I crazy? Okay. Anyway, let's move on right here. I want to talk a little bit about wrestling, WWE. This is my message to WWE. Take the mic out of Ryback's hands. This guy is horrendous on the microphone. What? First of all, that's his entire promo. Or, makes that weird face. What the frick is that? What is that? What is that? What are you doing? Are you constipated? Are you about to convulse or something? I mean, what the hell's going on? Why are you out of breath? Why are you profusely sweating? Why do you lack any facial expression? I get they're trying to make him like a cyborg-ish type of character. This guy is so boring and horrible on the mic and facial expressions. And even in taped promos, he's horrendous. The same monotone voice. My name is Ryback. Very excited. I'm going to hurt John Cena. I am sweating profusely. I'm happy today, but I'm upset now. Really? This is going to be the next face of the WWE? Get him off my TV. Hopefully this program with John Cena is slow. It's basically slow to grow into a big program, meaning I hope it halts at some point really quick and we can move on, because this is ridiculous. Ryback, you're a mid-carder. You're a good mid-carder, but I'm out of breath watching you, trying to figure out what the heck to make of your character and your promos. Alright, it's back. We're putting a fanfare member into our spotlight. And if those of you are wondering, what the heck is fanfare, Anthony? Well, guess what? I'll answer it for you. Have you ever really wanted to follow your athletes? And we all do it on Twitter and fan their page on Facebook. But if you really want a backstage pass to their careers, well, then go on over to sportsrants.com/fanfare. We have quite a few professional athletes who from time to time blog on their official fanfare blog on sportsrants.com. And this week we're focusing on Brandon London. He spent some time in the NFL with my Miami Dolphins. He spent some time in the CFL as well, and he's a current CFL player. He's a wide receiver. And Brandon London has a budding media career himself. He's got a new show that should be coming aboard on the in front of your TVs, on your TV screens, and on your computers, laptops, iPads, iPhones in the very near future. And Brandon London can be found in our fanfare section, so keep up on the CFL wide receiver and future media personality. And you can find other athletes as well as Brandon London in our fanfare section, and that's sportsrants.com /fanfare. All right, guys, it's that time of the show. It's the fan mail time. I answer your questions that you submitted to me via Twitter, and I do this every week. And I do it a couple days before I film this show, and I say, everyone, ask me your sports-related questions, and I'll do my best to answer it. Well, here we go. I have a couple tweets, so let's get to the fan mail, shall we? Okay. At Reckless Gens says, Leafs finally make the playoffs. How far do they get? And the playoffs this year. Anybody's game? That's kind of two questions. Well, I'll tackle them both. Why not? Nice tweet. All right, the Leafs finally make the playoffs. How far do they get? Well, that's kind of a loaded question. The playoff picture isn't crystal clear in the Western or Eastern Conference right now. So, I can't tell you the direct path, but I like the Leafs. They have that destiny feel to me. So, I think they have a legit shot to get to the conference finals. But I think they're almost a lock to get to the semifinals. So, hopefully that answers your question. Now, is the playoffs anybody's game? I think the Kings proved that last season. But this is a different beast. A lot of momentum is on the side of not only the Washington Capitals, but the Pittsburgh Penguins. And I know the Maple Leafs have momentum as well. But even the Blackhawks as well. I really like the Chicago Blackhawks. So I think those three teams, I think the playoffs are going to be dictated by how well those three teams perform. But I still like the Maple Leafs, and I'm picking the Pittsburgh Penguins to take home the Stanley Cup this year. All right. From No Bite Girl, she asks me, can CC Sabathia still pitch? Absolutely. Absolutely. He is an ace. And I think a lot of teams would trade their left arm, proverbial left arm, to get CC Sabathia. He's an ace, playoff experience. He doesn't get rattled. Yes, he's going to have bad games, but he is the workhorse for the Yankees. So yes, he can still pitch, and you may hate his performance here and there, but overall, CC Sabathia is one of the best in the business. Alright, at EM_Stars Insider asks me, who's the Stanley Cup favorite this year? Well, I'm going to say it again. I like the Pittsburgh Penguins. I can't ignore Sidney Crosby's statistical season, and I certainly can't ignore what the Penguins did in the regular season, so I'm going to pick the Pittsburgh Penguins. I know I talked about it a couple times in this show, but I wanted to be fair and get his question on. I gotta say the favorite is the Pittsburgh Penguins, with a slight nod to the Washington Capitals. I think if anybody's got really strong, I would say the favorite is the Penguins, and the team with the most momentum going in is the Washington Capitals. All right, Diva Nelson asked me, Mike Piazza, Mets Dodgers by talent or by Uncle Tommy Lasorda? I vote talent, but I'm biased. And I think she's asking me if Mike Piazza's going to make it into the Hall of Fame. Yeah, I think Mike Piazza gets in the Hall of Fame. And I'm not just saying because he's a fellow Italiano, just like myself. But Mike Piazza he had an incredible career. He led the Mets to the World Series, although they got swept by the Yankees. He still led them there. And he had such an impact, not only the Los Angeles Dodgers, but the New York Mets. So I love Mike Piazza, his career, what he did, how he kind of revolutionized the catcher position, and what an offensive force he was. And by all accounts, he seemed to have done it the right way. So I hope that was your question. But I'm saying Mike Piazza, Hall of Fame. All right, Mandre Allen asks me, if you're OKC, wouldn't you find a way to package Westbrook, meaning Russell Westbrook, for Steph Curry in a sign and trade? And wouldn't you love to do it too? I'll tell you, Golden State wouldn't bite on that. I don't think they would. Difference between the two is, and there's not much, Russell Westbrook is an offensive force. Can't really hit the jumper like Steph Curry. But Westbrook isn't the franchise. Durant is in Oklahoma City. Stephen Curry is the Golden State Warriors. So, I don't think Golden State's going to hand him over, and I don't think it would take just Russell Westbrook to do so. You're probably going to have to throw somebody else in there. I don't know if that works out. Hell yeah, if I was Oklahoma City, I would be, assuming the playoffs are over, I'd be on the phone, texting, stalking, Facebooking, tweeting the Warriors to try to get my hands on Steph Curry, but I think that falls in line with 31 other teams in the NBA. So, be interesting to see. Nice question. I really like the spin on that, but Steph Curry probably isn't going anywhere. Why would you lose him if you're Golden State? I don't know. You paid him, man. All right. Mike_Santoria asks me, contract for Brown and what the Cavs are thinking. I like the Mike Brown hire. I really do. He wasn't a fit in Los Angeles. He's a great fit in Cleveland. And I think the Cavs at the end of the day wanted stability. They wanted somebody they could trust. And I think Mike Brown does that. And you know what? He understands Cleveland. He has a tie to the city and the fans. So there's a comfy little feel there. So I like the Mike Brown hire. And I think the Cavs, they're thinking with their heads on this one. Great hire by them. Great hire. All right, and our last question. Thomas Cheshire asks me who you think has the best bullpen in the major leagues right now. Oof. Wow. There's a lot. Boston's got a great bullpen right now. They're doing very well. Atlanta's got a nice bullpen right now. You also got to look at Milwaukee's bullpen. These are teams that are on a run right now. And you know what? I say this with one asterisk next to it. Bullpens are in shambles in the beginning of the season. Nobody really has hit their groove or set into their roles. So I'm strictly going by the teams and their performances and holding on to leads and winning. So that's why I'm going with the Red Sox. That's why I really like the Braves and what they're doing. And that's why I'm pulling out the Brewers as well. I really like their bullpens and how they've been able to close out wins for those respective teams. All right, guys, don't forget to submit your questions to me. I start asking on Monday, and I close them up right before I film this show on Wednesday. So on Twitter, follow me at Anthony DeMoro. And also, don't forget, we have a Sidney Crosby giveaway, an autographed hockey puck. Don't forget to enter for your chance to win. Sign up at sportsrants.com. And also, follow me on Twitter. And you can also give us a like at facebook.com/sportsrants. No matter how you spell it, you will get there. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button. You're watching us right now. Hit that subscribe. We're going to do a giveaway for our subscribers very soon. It's going to happen. So might as well subscribe and enter before the contest is revealed. All right, guys, 1 second. Grab it. We're going to give away this bad boy today. And this, folks, not a Steelers fan, but take a look. Troy Polamalu signed jersey. See where the 4 is? That's the signature. So, this bad boy I'm giving away right now. Alright, so who won? Now what I did, so everybody knows how I picked the winner, everybody who entered, took all the members in sportsrants.com, and everybody who recently joined and tweeted me as well also got entered and mixed them up, and I did a drawing. So, the winner of this Pittsburgh Steelers autographed jersey is Anthony Vellotti at TonyV_123. So congratulations, Anthony. Thank you, everybody, for participating. We're going to do more and more giveaways. Trust me, last year we gave away a signed Goose Gossett Yankees jersey. I just gave away this Pittsburgh Steelers jersey. We're going to be giving away a Sidney Crosby autographed puck. It's going to continue. We're going to do these more and more often. Follow me on Twitter. Sign up on Sports Rants. Be automatically entered in our contests. Participate in our discussions. And you have more chances to win. So congratulations to Anthony. To claim your prize, DM me or email me, info@sportsrants.com. That's rants with a Z.com. Your shipping information. Where do you want me to send this to? We'll take care of it. We'll get it to you as soon as possible. Congratulations for winning the Troy Polamalu jersey. All right, folks, that is going to wrap it up for this edition of Ranters Insider right here on Sports Rants TV. Don't forget, we have other shows. For all you hockey fans, we have Crash in the Net with Tristan Huntermer that airs weekly as well. So be on the lookout for that. Hit that subscribe button and you won't miss an episode of Sports Rants TV. We also have new shows coming on board very, very shortly. I want to thank all my Twitter followers out there. The heck with Facebook. Sports Talk, Twitter. I love it. Thank you all for following me. Thank you all for interacting with me. And we do cool giveaways. We really do some cool stuff here. So hopefully my Twitter profile stands out to you guys a little bit. Interact with me more and more. I really appreciate it. And come on over and join the social network community, sportsrants.com. Trust me, guys. Before long, it's going to be the place to talk sports. Now, we have high goals, really high goals. And we have innovative goals. I know Facebook and Twitter are the kings, but trust me, eventually, when it comes to sports talk, Sports Rants is going to be on the end of everybody's tongue. So go on over to sportsrants.com. Don't forget our radio shows as well, Sports Rants Radio. You guys can come on over. We're a featured station on Blog Talk. We got 2 of them. Come on over to sportsrants.com/radio. One final message to all our bloggers out there who unfortunately have been a little bit out of whack on sportsrants.com. We do apologize and thank you for your patience. We are installing a new media server to take our site to the next level and do some more things, and it's taking a little longer than we had initially projected, but we're working on it. I'm working on it. I see bags under my eyes. Putting in a lot of work here, so don't worry. We're going to be back and up and running in no time. Things are going to be faster, more features, better media options as far as sharing videos and other media. It's just going to be a lot better, so thank you again for your patience, and hopefully we'll all be up and ranting again via blog on sportsrants.com. All right, guys, thank you so much. Don't forget, come on over to Blog Talk Radio. Check out my latest episode of the Rantin' and Ravin' Show. Awesome interviews, awesome show, and the ranting continues right there. And you can join me every Tuesday night. I tweet the link to listen to it, so listen to us every Tuesday night between 7 and 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the Rantin' and Ravin' Show on Sports Rants Radio. I'll be tweeting it, Facebooking it as well. So thanks again, guys. Keep ranting and enjoy the goodiness of all of these sporting events going on. Until next time, I'm Anthony DeMauro. This has been Ranters Insider, and you've been tuned in to Sports Rants TV.